Do the San Francisco 49ers need to add some more free agents before the preseason begins? What the hell was Nick Martin wearing to rookie minicamp? And the schedule goodies are already starting to leak out, and it's good news for the 49ers. We'll get to it all on today's Bully Ball Podcast. What is good, everybody? Welcome to the Bully Ball Podcast on the Gold Standard Podcast Network. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera, pinch hitting for Jason Aponte today, alongside Steph Sanchez. What's up, Steph?
Hey, yeah, I guess I'm stuck with you today, huh?
Starting off the show on a good note. Thanks for that. I'm glad you made time for us, because I know last year at this time, you were secretly hiding the news that you had been a part of the 49ers schedule release video. And so now this year, I'm on the lookout now. You didn't miss a show lately, so I think you're clear this year, but I can't trust you.
Yeah, I can put everyone at ease that I won't be in the release video this year. So that means the 49ers will be back in the playoffs, baby.
Right. It was all your fault, clearly. No, that was still one of the most amazing moments where I'm just literally watching it, and all of a sudden I see you pop up, and I was just immediately enraged. You did not give a hint. You did nothing. We had no idea.
Nobody knew a damn thing. I think the only people that knew were my close family, my fiance, of course, and that was it. So yeah, it was awesome to see everyone's reaction, but I can't wait to see what the release video is going to be this year. The 49ers have been kind of teasing something. Looks like maybe we might get like a video game theme. I don't know. I'm also waiting when they're gonna drop the rivalry jerseys. I think that will probably be happening maybe as part of the release video too. So we'll see.
Yeah, I hope they double it up. That would be fantastic. We're going to get to a little bit of the schedule stuff later, because you know me. You know I'm all jacked up. I love the schedule coming out. We've got like drips and drabs. But the first thing we want to talk about today is post-draft free agency. The draft is over with. Obviously, rookie minicamp has started. There's still some guys that are out there, and we thought maybe it'd be worth, batting a couple around and seeing what we ultimately decide for the 49ers. Did you have a number one target in mind, Steph, as to who the Niners should go look at?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't be mad if the 49ers picked up another edge rusher. In my opinion, I think when we ask ourselves, okay, what free agents make sense for the 49ers after the draft, it's okay, where do they still have some holes? And I still feel like edge rusher is somewhere they can stand to, get better. I get it. They got Mykel Williams, and I think Mykel Williams, he looked the part, right? At rookie minicamp. He's obviously going to play a role in year one. He's going to be that edge setter as well. So, he's going to be on there on at least those base downs. But maybe on those obvious passing situations, you want to have someone out there. They still have Yetur Gross-Matos. They have Sam Okoye-Nonu. So, do we feel comfortable with that? Well, what's the depth behind those guys? Those four top guys, it's Robert Beal Jr., Alex Barrett, Jonathan Garvin. Who? Yeah, exactly. So I think the 49ers could stand to improve there. And there's a couple of options out there. They could go the Zadarius Smith route, veteran in the league. I feel like Lions fans were a bit disappointed in his output, maybe, when they signed or traded for him last year to kind of soften the blow of the Aiden Hutchinson loss. But look, I mean, he was never going to be Aiden Hutchinson or give you that type of production. So he played 8 games for them. He got 4 sacks, 12 tackles. Yeah, that isn't great, but with Cleveland, he started all 16 games back in 2023. He had 5.5 sacks. He's not a high sack guy at this point in his career. But again, if you're just looking for someone who's going to be able to, be someone to go in on rotations, right? Which I think pretty much that's what they're looking for. Then Zadarius Smith is an option that I think makes some sense for them.
Yeah, if Zadarius Smith was your best pass rusher, you'd be in trouble. If he's your 5th best pass rusher, then you're in pretty good shape. Tony, YouTube channel member, says Zed Smith as a rotational piece would be money. I'm totally fine with that. They absolutely still need defensive linemen. They still need linebackers. They probably still need a safety too, just because of the whole Malik Mustafa thing. And I talked about this a little bit this week, and it's not a free agent, but I keep seeing, Steph, all this stuff about Trey Hendrickson not being happy and the
Mm,
Bengals not communicating.
yeah.
Can you imagine if the 49ers somehow pulled off a trade for Trey Hendrickson, and then you had Hendrickson and Bosa, and all of a sudden, Michael Williams and Alfred Collins and CJ West are like the backup, like rotational guy. And then you're like, oh my God, this defensive line goes from super scary to super scary for a totally different reason.
Well, yeah, I could most definitely imagine it. The question is, can we imagine Jed York opening up, the wallet
Yeah.
for Trey Hendrickson, which would obviously, in addition to giving up draft capital, you're also dishing out a new contract for him, and you're already paying Nick Bosa, close to top of the market money there. So, I don't know if I could picture that, but if I imagine both of those guys on the same defensive line, I mean, put us in the Super Bowl.
It would be frighteningly good. I know he's not a free agent, but we were talking about defensive line. If I had to pick a free agent right now that I would at least keep my eye on, I would go with Asante Samuel Jr. Now, there's a bit of an injury concern. He had a stinger during the season that he says aggravated a pre-existing condition. He ultimately had to have surgery on his neck in April. He's got a big checkup coming in July, I believe. And so after he has that checkup in July, he says then he'll sign with a team. Again, I think it's a position where the 49ers, could add. I certainly like Diamador Lenore. I like Renardo Green. Upton Stout is intriguing, but give me Asante Samuel. You can, I imagine you'd put him on the outside. You put Lenore in the slot. Upton Stout could eventually, be a slot or work in somewhere else. I would feel really good about the Niners secondary if all of a sudden they were able to add Asante Samuel Jr.
I'm somewhat indifferent on Asante Samuel. He's someone that does come up quite a bit when you see, articles about free agent fits for the 49ers. And I did see an NFL columnist listed the 49ers as the best fit for Samuel. And he noted, the 49ers are thin at cornerback because they lost Mooney Ward, Rock Ya-Sin, and Isaac Yiadom. Renardo Green played more snaps than Ya-Sin and Yiadom combined in only 19 less than Mooney Ward last year. So I think with their top two guys, we know that they're good. This whole thing from outside media thinking the 49ers are struggling at cornerback is just, I just don't see that. And I do think Upton Stout probably has the inside track to be able to get on the field as that third corner at that nickel spot. And so really what you should be concerned with is the depth behind the top 2-3 guys. I mean, we don't know what Darrell Luter's going to bring to the table, right? And Samuel, he's only 25 years old. So I think that gives him some intrigue, right? Like, yes, he has some injury concerns, but he's 25. So it's like, if he's going to figure it out somewhere, you could take a flyer on him. And he's going to be in a good system. So who knows? Maybe it could be like that Jason Verrett type of signing where, hey, this guy still has some potential. Let's just get him on a prove it deal and see what he does. And sometimes those signings end up surprising you, right? So in that respect, I could see it working out for the 49ers. I'm also intrigued by Emmanuel Mosley still being out there. Like, would he be interested in a reunion? Just saying, I don't know. There's a couple of guys in the cornerback market that I think would make sense for the 49ers and not just be Asante Samuel Jr.
The Darrell Luter Jr. thing, like, it's almost like he reminds me of like Nick Zakelj. It's like they keep telling me that these guys have talent and they're good. And I'm like, well, then what are they waiting for? Like, how many years do we have to carry them on the roster before we get a real contribution from either one of those guys? So, I mean, they keep saying all the right things, but we haven't seen it yet. So I don't know that I would be totally comfortable there, but I would love to see them at a corner for sure. You can never have corners and defensive linemen. Like, there is no amount where you have too many. It's impossible. So please keep adding them, especially because one injury, Steph, and all of a sudden our corner, then we're like, oh man, now we're scared. Now all of a sudden we're in, the danger zone.
Yeah, exactly. So, and another position that I think is somewhat similar is linebacker, right? I mean, they drafted Nick Martin. I think Nick Martin is going to have a role in year one. D. Winters has had a hard time staying on the field whenever he has gotten the opportunity. So I don't know what he's going to be. And after those top three guys, again, like it drops off quite a bit where you have some question marks. You don't know what those guys could bring to the table. There's Tatum Bethune, there's Jalen Graham, and Luke Gifford. Get this, Rob. I don't know if you saw this, but he got the number 57, Trey Greenlaw's former number. So, man, I don't know if they see something in Luke Gifford and him possibly being someone who can contribute if needed. But I thought that was interesting. There's interesting linebackers that are available as well. Everyone was talking about CJ Mosley, the former, Jets, Ravens linebacker that obviously has connections to Robert Saleh. He would make sense as a fit. But my thing is, they've had chances to sign him already, like after the Jets released him. So are they really interested in him? Are they waiting till he's like desperate and it's right before training camp to sign him to a cheap deal? I don't know, but I wouldn't be mad either if they brought in another linebacker.
Yeah, I think it's definitely needed. You look at some of the names on the left. Like, are you confident in Stone Blanton, the undrafted free agent? Curtis Robinson, Sean White, I didn't even know was on the roster, but sure, he's there. It's really it's not awe-inspiring. Let's just say that. And I realize, like, look, it's not like teams are 4 or 5 linebackers deep everywhere, but damn, I wouldn't mind another one. Just please, let's have better success than the last free agent linebacker we brought in. Can we just have a guy that at least wants to play on the field and will go into a game when asked? Because that's the bar we're at for free agent linebackers.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw out another one here, Rob. I think, do we feel good about the safety room? I mean, we know Malik Mustafa may not be ready week one. We don't know. And then from there, like who do you have? Jair Brown, who had a terrible year two. And then you got Richie Grant, Jason Pinnock, Marcus Siegel, Quindell Johnson, Jalen Mahoney, George Odom. Like, just again, it's a bunch of. I was talking about wide receivers yesterday on my show, and I'm like, it's not a deep wide receiver room, but there's a lot of bodies. It's crowded. It's not deep. And I would say the same thing about a lot of positions on defense as well. And I think safety is probably one of those. It got a lot of guys, but do any of those guys, inspire any confidence? If any of those, like if Mustafa's not available week one, if Jair Brown doesn't have, an up year three after a down year two, like, do you feel good about any of those guys behind them to even step up? I don't know that I do. So, I mean, isn't Justin Simmons still available? He could certainly probably be an option for the 49ers. I think one thing that's been missing for me in the safety room is someone who's a ball hawk. Like I would love someone who's just great in coverage, to be that rangy safety. I mean, Justin Simmons, I think, has that ability to him. And so if he's waiting for a nice veteran deal, maybe the 49ers could make a call. Because, I just want to feel a little more sure about the safety room.
The thing I liked about Hufanga was he wasn't like, great in coverage, but I felt like he was always around the ball. Like, the ball gets popped up in the air, Hufanga's there. Punt gets blocked, Hufanga's there to pick it up. Like, I always felt like he was at least around the ball. And that was coming off the 10 years of Jaquiski Tartt and Jimmy Ward, who did a lot of great things, but generating turnovers was not their strength. It's not really what they did. They were fundamentally sound, and, they always made the plays that were there, except for that one interception that Jaquiski Tartt dropped. But other than that, like, that's not what they did. Hufanga made game-changing plays, fumbles, interceptions, those type of things. And now at the safety spot, I don't know. I mean, even when Malik Mustafa is there, he's a hitter for sure, which I love, but they don't have a ball hawk really in the entire secondary, to be honest.
Yeah, and so I would love to see that, because I think, Jair Brown, Malik Mustafa, if Mustafa's healthy, like those two guys do have overlapping skill sets in my opinion. And Hufanga was kind of the same way. Like there's a lot of overlap in what they bring to the table. And I would like it if they had someone who brought something different. And I think a guy like Justin Simmons would intrigue me. But as far as the wide receiver room, as I was just talking about that, right? They brought in Gabe Davis for a visit just yesterday, Monday. Does that intrigue you at all, Rob?
No, I want no part of Gabe Davis. Get out of here.
What's your issue with Gabe Davis?
We already have a Gabe Davis at home, okay? We have Jacob Cowing. Let him do whatever you were planning on doing with Gabe Davis. He's faster than Gabe Davis. He's younger than Gabe Davis. You drafted him for a reason. Gabe Davis has had 2 good playoff games, and that's it, okay? The Jags gave him a 3-year, $39 million contract last year. They got one look at him up close and said, we're better off without you. We're cutting your ass, and we're taking a $20 million cap hit to do it. The Jags, who stink. Like, no, I don't want Gabe Davis. Get out of here with that. You don't need him. You don't need him. Wide receiver is one of the few positions where I feel like there's enough guys in the room that I'd be willing to give some of them a shot.
Sure, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Again, it's not deep. Like, there's still a lot of question marks, but there's a lot of new faces in that room already that I think deserve to get an opportunity. Adding too many new guys in the mix that you want to see leaves little opportunity for all of them, So Gabe Davis, he had some good stints with the Bills his first three years in the league. But yeah, that time with the Jags was not great. Dealt with a lot of injuries. So similar to the Asante Samuel path, like the injury history is concerning. He's only 26 years old though. So yeah, I think if the 49ers signed Gabe Davis, it would be to put him ahead of Jacob Cowing or, I guess give him some competition. I don't know. Because the thing is, Rob, you got Brandon Ayuk, who's probably not going to be ready for week 1. Mm-hmm. Then you have Demarcus Robinson, who may or may not be suspended. We don't know yet, but if he's going to be suspended, maybe we're looking at up to 3 games. So do you feel good with Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings being your top 2 wide receivers for the first few weeks of the season?
I actually do, and I'm really looking forward to Pearsall. I think Pearsall can break out and have a 1,200, 1,300-yard season. I really do. I mean, you were drafted in the first round. First-round wide receivers, that's not an unreasonable expectation. Everything I've seen from Ricky Pearsall, I've liked. I like the speed. I like the hands. I like the run after catch ability. So I actually feel really excited that not that Brandon Ayuk is hurt, obviously, but that circumstances might force Ricky Pearsall into a more prominent role than he may have had, because I think he's ready for it. So I feel good about Jennings and Pearsall with Kittle, with McCaffrey. Like, yeah, the offense should be good. Like, go to work, guys. And then obviously, hopefully you can reinforce it with Robinson when he gets there and Brandon Ayuk when he gets there. And then you're like, damn, now I feel really good about the offense.
Yeah, I think I see Kittle as the wide receiver 1 on this team. if he needs to be, and he should be, right? Like, that's how good he is. Yes. So he should be the number 1 option, followed by Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall in any order that you want to put them. And, probably McCaffrey as well. Let's not forget, he's pretty good at catching the ball himself. So yeah, I feel good about those 2 guys. I think having seen what Pearsall brought last season in even his limited amount of time, I'm super encouraged. And I think that, he's just going to continue to get better. I mean, he's been working with Brock Purdy much of this offseason, right? So their chemistry, their timing, which, pretty much predicates how Brock Purdy can, how he performs with his receivers. They already look to be like on the same page as far as everything goes. So I feel good about Ricky Pearsall taking a further step. I still don't think he's going to be like the top option, of course, in this crowded offense. But, I think he's going to do enough to where even when Brandon Ayuk comes back, you're not taking Ricky Pearsall off that field.
Right. And I think his combination with Ayuk could be really good. You got 2 guys that are going to be able to separate against man coverage. I mean, if I told you the 49ers had a receiver that has incredible hands, has made some of the best catches you've ever seen, runs a 4.4 flat, and blocks, runs after the catch, you'd be thrilled. Well, that's Ricky Pearsall. Like, what are we talking about here? I think so many people are mad at him just because he wasn't an offensive lineman, that they're like, oh, he was a terrible pick. I don't think he was.
No, he wasn't. Yes, I think it has to do with where they picked him, who was available when they picked him. I think people would have preferred another position, but no, Ricky in his own right, I think has proven to be pretty good. And a full off season where he's going to be healthy, got another year down of the playbook. I'm excited. So yes, the offense is the least of our worries. I think based on everything that we're saying here, as far as free agents they should sign, I think we're all focused on the defense and a lot of uncertainty there, not having a lot of depth there to really feel truly comfortable. But like also the amount of guys that they have at all these positions, while there's a lot of maybe unknowns there, it should breed competition, right? Like, and usually when you have that level of competition, you get guys who are really going to step up in order to make the roster. Like you could find gems that way, right? Just kind of having a bunch of guys in the room and fight to the death sort of thing for some of these spots. And so I really kind of think that's what they're banking on. And also they're banking on Robert Saleh being able to raise the ceiling of this defense, even with the guys that they have on the roster now. So I wouldn't even be surprised, Rob, if they just stood pat and stayed with the guys that they have. Honestly, I was a little surprised that they did bring in Gabe Davis for a visit, because I think on the defensive side is where they'd need a little more help. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't sign too many more people, or if they did, it's just camp bodies.
Yeah, and maybe that's what Gabe Davis would have been. Preseason football for this team is going to be a lot of fun, because like you said, there's so many guys that we don't really know how it's going to shake out. Like, get ready for the Naylor. What's his Isaiah Naylor. People are going to see him. He's 6'4". He runs like a 4.4 or 4.5 40-yard dash. He's got a giant wingspan. And they're going to see him like moss some people in the preseason and be like, holy crap, look out. But it's going to be fun, because those sorts of things are going to happen. Plus, like, let's be real, Kyle's going to get dudes open too. So like, that's going to be part of it too. They're going to be cooking people in the preseason. It's going to be like, holy crap, look at Mac Jones and Isaiah Naylor. And we're going to be talking it up. Watch, it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be excited. Rob, did you see Matt Barrows like in an athletic piece talking about the rookie mini camp? He talked about Nair, and he said, quote, he cuts a Randy Moss-like silhouette with a thin frame and long arms and legs.
I did see that, and I was like, oh my God, Barrows, what are you doing? And then I saw Isaiah Nair and what he looks like. He's 100% right. He does look like Randy Moss. Randy Moss was 6'4", but Randy Moss was like skinny and wiry. And so is Isaiah Nair. Doesn't mean he plays like Randy Moss, but yeah, he does in the jersey, like has kind of the body and the frame of Randy Moss. That wasn't incorrect. It wasn't, what was it? So-and-so is the greatest thrower of the football.
Oh my gosh. Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold. Yeah, right. It wasn't that.
Well, yeah, I saw people freaking out about Barrows saying that and saying, wow, he's comparing him to Randy Moss. He's just talking about his frame, which, yes, absolutely. If you see a picture of Nair, like the frame does fit that same sort of stature. So he's on the money there. Like you said, it doesn't mean he's going to play like him, but there's enough to be intrigued with Isaiah Nair right now. So let us have this.
Right, exactly. I need this for me. Speaking of things I need, Steph, the schedule's coming out tomorrow. The full schedule. I cannot wait. We got drips and drabs. We got all the international games. And can you believe that the 49ers do not have an international game this season, yet still will travel the 5th most miles of any team in the NFL?
So this is interesting, right? This is the part of the schedule release that's really going to tell us how easy or difficult the 49ers schedule is going to be. It's not just about the opponents. We already know that the 49ers have the easiest schedule in terms of the opponents that are facing. and those opponents had like the worst winning percentage last year. But that doesn't mean everything. For one, those opponents have an opportunity to improve from one year to the next. So that alone doesn't always tell us stuff. And then you got to think about all these things. So miles traveled, that's a lot of miles, Rob. And they're in the top 5 most traveled, or they will be in miles traveled in the 2025-2026 season. And so you talk about last year how the 49ers at many different points had the short end of the stick in terms of their schedule. They can still end up with some short ends of this stick when it comes to the schedule and, you know, early body clock games.
Yep.
I mean, we already know that the traveling is going to be quite a bit, even without, you know, an international game, like you said. So there's other factors than just who they're going to be playing against that can make their schedule a little more difficult. So that's the part that I'm looking forward to seeing. And hopefully the NFL is nice to us this year.
So a couple of things. I was, of course, feverishly texting you and Jason today about like all the travel stuff. The Niners are going to travel the 5th most miles of any team this year. 3 of the 4 teams ahead of them have an international game. The only one that doesn't is Seattle, but Seattle's all the way out there. So they always travel. They're always like way at the top of the league in terms of miles traveled. Everybody else, Jacksonville, the Rams, and the Chargers have an international game. So that's why their miles are so high. The Niners don't. They were also 5th last year, were the 49ers, with about 24,500 miles traveled, in case you're looking to compare. So we'll see how it all shakes out. I know that the Niners, luckily, have not only the easiest schedule in terms of winning percentage of the teams they played last year, but if you look at the projected win totals for 2025, Steph, the Niners still have the easiest schedule, which is a much better predictor, in my opinion, because it does factor in coaching changes in the draft and yada, yada, yada. So I said, if the Niners split the NFC West games, they're making the playoffs. Book it, period, end of story. It's all going to come down to how they play in the division, because the rest of the schedule is ass. It is.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, obviously winning the division and those games mean the most. They're obviously going to be better, I think, in that department this year than they were last year. I mean, they have to be, right? So, and looking at those teams, I think the 49ers do have an opportunity with some guys getting back healthy, especially on the offensive side of the ball. If you believe that Robert Saleh is going to be able to improve this defense, which I think he will, you know, then yeah, the bar is set pretty low for this team, Rob, to be better. And so if everything works out with the schedule, and you know, we expect it probably will. Again, we don't know about the other things like the travel, the bye week stuff, you know, little things like that can mess things up. You know, I still think the 49ers are going to have a better record this year than last year. It shouldn't be too difficult.
They freaking better. I mean, look, if you're watching the stream right now, you could see the opponents on the screen. Their toughest games are Houston, in Houston. And then I think the Bears game is going to be tougher just because I think they're going to be a lot better than last year. Other than that, it's just the division games. The rest of the game, the Saints with no quarterback whatsoever. The Bucs game you might think is tough, but the Niners beat the Bucs last year, and the Niners were a tire fire. The Colts, the Giants, the Browns, give me a break. This is a gift from the gods with this schedule. So you split the division games, you should be in the playoffs, no questions asked.
Yeah, and as Eric says in the comments, you could be looking at 6 rookie quarterbacks potentially that the 49ers may face in this 2025 season, which would obviously be a huge win for them if that did happen, especially because this class for quarterbacks was not the strongest. So I think there's going to be an opportunity. I think it's better, especially if you play some of those teams early in the season. Because then they're even more raw. They got more they got to figure out, and it isn't until towards the end of the season where they start to get a little more comfortable on things and in their offense. So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping for as well. And as Tony points out, it's all about the rest differential with the schedule. So, yes, that's the part we do not know yet. And that's what we're going to find out on Wednesday when they announce that.
I'm trying to think of the rookie quarterbacks. New Orleans could have a rookie quarterback. The Giants, the Browns. Who are the other teams that might have a rookie quarterback?
The Colts and anyone?
No, they have Anthony Richardson, don't they?
Nah, he's not good.
Right, and he's terrible, yeah. But I mean, the Jags don't have a rookie. The Panthers don't have a rookie. The Falcons won't have a rookie.
Yeah, 6 was maybe a stretch. Eric, tell us the 6 because I'm struggling too to figure those out. Seahawks, I don't think so. They got Darnold. Darnold's going to start over Milroe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The Giants might not start Jackson Dart. They might start Jameis or Russ, which I don't want to see Russell Wilson ever just because he's permanently scarred in my brain. But yeah, I don't think it's 6 rookie quarter. But I mean, the quarterback slate in general. I mean, it's
you will face some young quarterbacks. There'll be a couple on their year 2. So yeah,
Cam Ward, right? We'll get to see the number 1 overall draft pick.
Yeah. So again, I'm hoping that's early in the season. You know, it's like still getting comfortable with the different guys on his offense, not on the same page with his receivers yet. So all these little things factor into the confidence we're going to have in the 49ers winning each of these games. And I can't wait, Rob, because, you know, next week we're probably going to get into our favorite thing to do, which is predicting which games the 49ers will win and our reasoning behind that. And then, of course, as the year goes on, we'll revisit and give new predictions for those. But that's probably one of my favorite things to do before the season starts.
We'll revisit it if we were correct. If we weren't correct, we'll never mention it again. The Unfaithful Perspective, thank you for the super chat, says schedules are never set until the season. I can definitely see it being tougher than it looks. It would have to be tougher than it looks. It's worth noting Tampa Bay didn't have Godwin or Evans. Bears, Tampa, Atlanta, SC. What's SC? Why am I blanking on that? Tampa, Atlanta, SC, Texas could take form. Well, the Houston game will be, I mean, they were a playoff team. So, and D'Amico, their defense is really, really good. So that's not going to be fun for the 49ers. But like, Atlanta, I'm sorry, man. And don't tell me who Tampa Bay didn't have. PS, who did the 49ers not have when they played Tampa Bay and they still won? So forgive me. I don't know. The schedule is, you couldn't ask for a better schedule. Every other team in the league would switch places with the 49ers. With their, like, seriously, is there another team that would say, no, we'll keep the schedule we have? Thanks. I don't think there is.
And frankly, I'm tired of making excuses for this freaking team. It's like, I know that they retooled the defense and all that, but my expectation is that they're better than 6-10, you know, or whatever the record was last year. It was 10, right? 10 losses?
6-11.
11. God, the extra game really messes me up.
I know.
Thanks a lot, NFL. And then as soon as I get used to that, they're going to add another game. Yeah. So, yeah, 6-11. I do expect the 49ers to be better than that, regardless of the circumstances. I frankly don't care if they end up having a bad rest differential and it's similar to last year. I do not care. Win these games. Your offense is still good. Your offense should still be able to put points up on the board. Again, the defense should be better than it was last year, regardless of all these new pieces that you have and Robert Saleh having to figure it out. That's why he's here, to figure it out and to make this defense better. So, yeah, I'm tired of making these excuses and wishing everything will be easy for this team. Life doesn't work that way.
No, it absolutely does not. Sorry, Steph. I'm seeing something on the 49ers website about a rebrand for the 2025 season. So, I mean, we know, obviously,
the rival stuff or the rivalry stuff, right?
Well, the Niners are calling it a visual refresh. That's the term that they used. The Niners have rolled out a refreshed brand kit ahead of the 2025 season. The faithful may have begun to notice a change in the creative elements, blah, blah, blah. They're updated on all platforms, blah, blah, blah. they're going to incorporate the gold, I guess. They're going to do the
Can you,
floating
can you
SF.
share your screen?
Yeah,
Because
let me share the
I'm
screen.
looking at it too, and I think this is really cool.
I
For
love
one,
jersey stuff. So go ahead.
me
Sorry.
too. I love the floating SF.
Yes.
Like it's so clean. I love it with the one that they have as their Avi right now, their avatar is the white with like the red background, and I really like that. And it's an off-white. It's like a cream.
Yeah.
So while yes, this is a visual like somewhat rebrand, I do think this is going to be somewhat connected to the rivalries jersey that they bring in this year as well. So this is really cool to see, and that they have all this.
And as it says on the website, the floating SF was on the Niner helmets in 1962 with no border or outline or anything. So like it's new, but it's kind of a throwback as well. Then they're doing the faithful script, apparently the word faithful in script, which I'm not into the whole faithful thing. I feel like that's the team trying to make it a slogan to support the team no matter what. So if they suck, you still have to support that. Like
you got to support the team, man.
Right. You're not a real fan if you do that. Let's see. Now they have the new colors.
See this cream.
Yeah.
So like heritage cream with the red text. I love that. Like that cream look is so primetime black.
Primetime black. I don't like that. I really hope the black jersey doesn't come back.
Do we know if these are necessarily going to correlate to jerseys? I don't know.
I don't know, but like, what is the point of all this unless you're going to keep all the jerseys the same? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's who knows. Your guess is as good as mine. But I do like the floating SF. The gold SF looks good. The red SF looks good. The off-white, it all looks good. And I'll say this, the 49ers have an incredibly difficult color scheme to work with. It's really hard to like change their jerseys to anything that's actually good. You can't go gold jersey. It looks awful.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Anyone who suggests gold jerseys, like, have you seen the Jags like gold or their rendition of gold jerseys? It looked like mustard. Right. It was awful. You need the metallic and shiny part of it. Like the gold itself doesn't translate to just, sheer fabric. You need the shiny element. So that's why it works for the helmets. It will never work on a jersey. I'm just sorry to tell you, but I disagree. I think it's a pretty easy color scheme to work with, in my opinion. Classic colors, it's just no, absolutely not.
I got into a Twitter argument with Always Faithful 24/7, and then I was like, please don't let it be gold jerseys. And they sent a picture of the gold jersey with gold pants, and it just looks, I said, it looks like somebody threw up after they ate a red lightsaber. Like, it's just awful. It's not good. It's hard to do anything different with the 49ers jerseys than what they already have.
Different, yes. Sure. I mean, yes, it would be very minimal. I think, which is why I'm excited about the rivalries, because I think it's an opportunity to introduce new designs. Like, just look at what the NBA has done with, their version of the city jerseys, and MLB with the City Connect. Like, there's ways to use the same colors if you want and have it be a new look, right? And so that's why I'm excited about them even releasing this. Shout out to the design team. I think this is awesome for them putting all of this together. And I'm still convinced that this is going to correlate with the rivalries jerseys, and that's kind of why they're doing it, because a lot of the branding does have to do with aspects of San Francisco and the history of the team in general. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think they can do some really creative things with that.
The floating SF is a home run. The off-white with the red looks fantastic.
I need that on a helmet. The floating SF on a helmet, please.
Yes, absolutely. And but the fact that they haven't said anything about jerseys or like helmets or logos is really weird. It's like, what is the point of all of this if you're not then going to make that change and take it onto the field, right? Like, I'm assuming they got to do something, but we'll see. But I love it so far. I like where their head's at.
Do you think they might do a full jersey rebrand or just the rivalries thing?
Right. It could just be the alternate jersey. Maybe they just use it with that. I mean, judging by the Twitter avatar alone, I'm pretty sure the helmet's just going to have the floating SF, which I'm fine
God,
with.
that'd be so clean. Oh man, I might actually buy a helmet if they.
Yeah, I might have to get one for the background too.
Full
Like,
size.
I wouldn't mind if they went with a white helmet with a red floating SF and like with white jerseys and white pen, just do all clean. Like, I would like that. They've got some options there for sure. But sorry, I didn't mean to completely derail us, but I just saw that.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah, I just saw that. Like, wait, a visual refresh. Oh my God. So that got me off track for sure. What else? Rookie minicamp. That was the other things I wanted to talk about. I gotta say, I love the rookies, Steph. Like, I know we haven't seen him on the field. I love the personalities. CJ West, every time he talks, says he wants to be violent and punish quarterbacks and punch them in the face. Yes, please. Nick Martin showing up to the first day of rookie camp with these on his feet. If you're watching the stream, it's giant, fluffy shark slippers. Like, that's how he showed up to work. And I loved it because he's comfortable in his own skin. That's what it shows. Like, these guys are comfortable with who they are, and I love that.
I feel like this is somewhat the new age of athletes, though, and just like the new age of working class people. Like, you're getting the Gen Z people, and I think a lot of them are kind of more comfortable entering these professional environments, and in this case, even a sports team, your real NFL job, and coming in with slippers, right? Like, that's so Gen Z. But yeah, I love, again, the personalities of all these guys as well. I think Upton Stout is one of those guys that I think is really going to be a fan favorite. Just great personalities all around. I do think, we know that's part of the 49ers process and what they fall in love with when it comes to these prospects. And, I think we've seen many examples when, these guys do kind of have that type of personality, like how it translates on the field ends up being pretty positive too, right? Like, you get a sense of who they are as a player when you hear them speak as well. And so, it's going to be a fun rookie class. And I think because there's so many of them, literally 11 guys, plus you got the undrafted free agents, it's going to be nice to get some new blood in the building, and just see how they interact with some of the veterans, right?
If they're good, if they can play at all, people are going to fall in love with these guys because they're hilarious. Upton Stout was talking about how when he lifted in college, he didn't lift with the defensive backs. He lifted with like the linemen. And my favorite Upton Stout statistic of all time is that he did 21 bench reps at the combine, most of any defensive back. It's also the exact same number that Tyler Booker, the Cowboys' first-round draft pick, did. And he's a guard. Okay, I love that 5'8" Upton Stout did the same amount of bench reps as the Cowboys' first-round draft pick offensive lineman.
Geez, these guys are dogs. I think that's what we're gonna see out of this group. And again, like, their personalities reflect who they are on the field as well. Upton Stout, I think, is the best example of that because he does not play like his size at all. And even Mike Hell looked the part. If you've seen those clips from the rookie minicamp, I don't want to get too excited about rookie minicamp, and I don't want to get too down either. But when someone, just based on how they look, is able to kind of, not surprise you, but you have everyone kind of buzzing about it, it's always a good sign, right? Especially when it's your first round pick. So for Michael Williams, I'm excited for him. All the guys that they got on defensive line, Alfred Collins, even though he couldn't even participate, right? Dude is massive. He's massive. He's a tank. Like, look at this guy. So even not even seeing him line up and get some snaps, like, we're excited just because the dude is massive. So yeah, all these guys I'm really excited for. and can't wait to see what they bring. Again, like you said, it's going to be a really fun preseason. It's going to be a really fun training camp period where we're going to see these guys cut their teeth in camp and with some of the vets and see how they do, sink or swim, right? It's going to be great to get that level of competition again. And for actual rookies to get an opportunity to get out there on the field. Hopefully we see more of that on the offensive side as well. Talking to you, Kyle. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it all.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of like hope. This is going to be a different year than we've seen in recent years. And I've talked about this in the past, how if the Niners are good this year, it's going to feel more like 2011, where it's like they win a game and you're like, yes. And they win another game and you're like, hey, these guys might be pretty good. And then they win again. You're like, are we really doing this? And it just builds and builds and builds throughout the season. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, we're in the playoffs. We've won 12 games. Like, we look really good. It's going to be that kind of a year as opposed to, hey, we expect to be back in the NFC Championship game. We better be there. We better not lose, that more than 3 games all year. It's going to be a different kind of season. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed to be less fun. Might be more fun because we don't really know what's going to happen. But it's just going to be, I think, kind of a refresher year for us as fans as well as the players.
I think it's a great time to roll this out. Like, I don't know, if it's Jed's decision or, internally the design team, marketing team, I don't know. But if there was ever a time to rebrand, and bring refresh the brand, say, this is the perfect time to do it with all of the other changes happening with the team. And they're, like you said, it's all changes that we're excited for, right? So I think we're all ready for something new and fresh. It's a way to keep people engaged because we're just so tired of this team not winning in a Super Bowl. If you look at any posts that the 49ers make, like on their Instagram, for example, top liked comment that will always be at the top will be someone making a remark about how this team has not won a Super Bowl in 30 years. We're tired of it. No matter what the post is, like, that's kind of like the most seen comment I see. And so this year it has an opportunity to get people engaged and excited again, even though, yeah, like, we still haven't done that, but it's a new hope, Rob. It's a new hope.
Going Star Wars on me. I like
yeah.
No, but I agree. Every post, every comment is yeah, but. Oh, sure, the offense is great. Yeah, but you didn't win a Super Bowl. Hey, sure, Brock Purdy never left the field in the fourth quarter or overtime of the Super Bowl without giving his team the lead. Yeah, but he didn't win the Super Bowl. I get why fans are saying that because they didn't win. And I do kind of agree with you. Like, what better way to send a message, even a subconscious message of this is a new era. We're building something new. We're starting something new. Changing up the uniforms, changing up the logo. Literally, we're doing something that's never been done before. I don't know if it was intentional or not by the 49ers, but I think it was the perfect time to do it. I absolutely do.
Especially because this, there's a lot of history for this team, and I get it. But, like, always talking about the same history and the 5 Super Bowls over and over again, like, it just gets tiring. Like, give us something new to be excited about.
And they're, like we talked about, like, for the past 48 minutes, there's a lot new to be excited about with the Niners. And hopefully we can get that going as soon as possible because I can't wait. Like, I need them on the field doing football things again. Steph, just seeing them out there in the rookie minicamp has gotten the juices flowing,
Yeah.
Like, after. I was going to say, like, after the Super Bowl loss, it was like, it was like, so deflating. And yeah, they were playing again the next year, but it was different, Now, after 6-11, like, I want to get that taste out of my mouth. I'm like antsy for them to get back up.
Exactly. I mean, we talk about how much, losing the Super Bowl the way they did took a toll on the players. I know we don't suit up, but it took a toll on all of us too, but, like, we are just as much like emotionally invested in this team. So yeah, I think for us, we need this as well. And that's why we're all so excited along with them. But speaking of brand refresh, like Rob, yeah, you got the little facial hair going on. What's going on there? I gotta say, I make fun of you a lot, but I dig this look.
Thank you. Apparently, it's a big topic of conversation in the chat. People love it. People hate it. I was bored with my face. Okay. And quite honestly, I've never tried to have facial hair before in my life. And I was like, I want to know what it looks like. So I'm trying it out. We'll see. I may get rid of it tomorrow. You never know. My wife hates it. So that maybe
probably won't last long then.
Probably not. But maybe I'll keep it until the season starts. And then when the season begins, we'll shave it off. I don't know.
Except if they start winning, then you're like, I can't shave it now. Like
That's true. And you don't mess with a winning streak. I'm a firm believer in that. You do not mess with a streak. So I'm just telling everybody right now, I will sacrifice for the good of the team. If it takes me never shaving again, I will never shave again. If it takes me shaving off eyebrows and all facial hair, I'll do it.
Eyebrows.
Hey, for a Super Bowl, there's a lot I would do, okay?
Yeah, same. Yeah.
The eyebrows will grow
back. We're at that point.
That's the one spot on my head where I'm not losing hair is the eyebrows, okay? The rest of it is dicey.
Well, it looks good on you, so yeah, don't worry about the comments in the chat.
You guys are jerks in the chat. That's fine. Diego says the pandemic was the time for weird experiments. I know I should have. I didn't think of that back then, but anyway. Oh, well, that's going to do it for this edition of the show. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. I promise you, if you come back for more, you will not be disappointed. Like and subscribe to Steph's YouTube channel as well, where this is also currently streaming. Just search Steph49K. It pops right up. I promise you, you will be a very happy person if you do. Steph, thanks for letting me pinch hit for Jay on today's show.
Let you? That's a bit of a stretch.
Well, I mean, you could have gone solo. I saw you do a solo show on your channel the other night. I was watching.
Okay. You and the other two people. I'm kidding. Appreciate all of you that tuned in.
We'll talk to you. We'll be live 8:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time after the schedule drops tomorrow. So we'll be breaking it all down. If you don't want to miss that, I can't wait. I will be bouncing off the walls, excited once the schedule comes out. So join us. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, everybody.
Peace.